American Chances, a $175,000 Keeneland sales purchase. As Niall mentioned, a multiple graded stakes winner. He's earned over $500,000, but in this field, those credentials still make him a cut below the rest of them. And his jockey is Kentucky-bred Cajun jockey Larry Melanson. And here is Best Pal. Two excuses, if you will, for him in the Santa Anita Handicap. He did lose a shoe, and Gary Jones admits to giving DeSormo bad instructions, telling him to take back no matter what. Well, the pace was slow, and they got burned. DeSormo will probably be a bit more aggressive this afternoon. Famed Devil is a $55,000 Keeneland purchase. Not much to like here, really, but he does come from one of America's winningest stables, that of John Franks. Famed Devil will run well over this track. He has run well over this track, but not against these kind of horses. And Shane Romero is his pilot today. Conveyor, New York-based stakes winner, trained by D. Wayne Lucas. He's won this race twice before. His best chance for victory here seems to be if he can steal away on an easy lead. And his jockey is Cesar Bassano. He's an apprentice jockey, but he can't claim that apprentice allowance today because this is a stakes race. And Sand Lizard from that powerhouse Loud Lolly has a huge number, does that stable of 3-year-olds, but they're very, very limited in older horses. The Arkansas outfit represented here was Sand Devil, who's won 3 of 4 lifetime, Sand Lizard, I should say, won 3 of 4 lifetime starts, but he's never even run in a stakes race. And Pistols and Roses, number 6, won the Bluegrass last year. Then he was 16th behind Lil E.T. in the Kentucky Derby. If he wins today, he would be the only horse in the handicap division with 2 grade 1s. In my book, that makes him number 1. If he wins today, Iberto Castillo Jr. is paired with him once again. And Lil E.T. currently ranked 2nd in the country in the TRC poll. He's 2 for 2 impressively over this strip. A win today, and he'll be number 1. He's owned this track this year, and his jockey has owned this track for 10 years. In fact, Pat Day will win his 11th straight Oaklawn riding title this season. Senor Tomas, a $75,000 Keeneland purchase, a well-beaten third to Lil E.T. in the Razorback. He really hasn't been close to victory since his shining moment last year when he won the Super Derby at 28-1. And his rider is Aaron Ryder. And Z Ruler, a solid closing second to Lil E.T. last time out. He's the strongest closer in the field and may need some help in the form of fast early fractions to help his chances. Garrett Gomez, one of the top local jockeys here, he won 3 races yesterday, is aboard Z Ruler. And Jovial, very dangerous. He lost the big cap by a mere length and 3/4, and that was after a wide trip, very wide indeed, 6 wide into the stretch. And he has a new jockey today, the redoubtable and very experienced Eddie Delahousie. Chris?
Well, it's my pleasure to be here with them. And there's Best Pal at 3-1. All the others big prices now. And we'll take a look at the favorite. Lil E.T. is now even money, and Jovial at 4-1. Well, as always, we're looking for value in a field. That means it's time to find our Budweiser long shot.
The Oaklawn Handicap is Z Ruler. And we base our selection primarily on his last start, which came after a 4-month layoff. It was the 1/16 Razorback. Z Ruler occupied his usual spot near the back of the pack in the early going. He closed well, but fell short of the victorious Lil E.T. by a diminishing length and a quarter. Today, he'll have the benefit of that seasonal debut, plus an extra 1/16 of a mile. And from trainer Donnie Von Hemel, some extra motivation. After it was suggested that Z Ruler set Lil E.T. up perfectly for the arrival of the big horses.
Well, that did kind of hit us the wrong way, but comments don't matter. It's the way your horse runs on Saturday is what matters.
Never one to let go of the bone, Von Hemel thinks Z Ruler can run with the big boys that are here today. And those are the reasons we think Z Ruler could be the winner as the Budweiser long shot.
Z Ruler's a good price, too. Look at that. 14-1 for the Budweiser long shot. And keep an eye on those silks, the light blue. And there's Marty McGay's choice, Best Pal, going into the starting gate. Now he is the defending champion and is the second choice. Our stakes and track record for this Oaklawn Handicap is one and the same. Snow Chief in 1987, 146-3. As they load, we'll go to the top of the stands. The man who'll call the handicap for us, Tom Durkin.
And breaking from post position number 7 will be Lil E.T. We talk about the idiosyncrasies of Best Pal. Lil E.T. also a little idiosyncratic. Pat Day needs to get this horse to relax. Lil E.T. is a very fiery competitor, and to get him to relax, he's literally probably going to take him away from the other horses, have him travel on the outside instead of being in and among them with horses all around him for him to be so competitive with. That's how he'll try to get him to relax in the early going. So we might see everybody trying to get to the outside here. Best Pal prefers it out there. Lil E.T. prefers it out there, and Jovial is going to get underway in the late middle stages of the race. Actually, will also probably be on the outside, starting from there in post position number 10. Jovial's in line, or just about at least. Eddie De La Houssaye guiding Jovial, being coaxed into the starting gate here. The early speed could be provided by Conveyor, who's got a good deal of early lick when he wants it, Fame Devil. And here is Jovial once again balking at the starting gate, but without too much trouble goes in. We're ready for the start. And they are off. Best Pal, and he broke alertly toward the inside. Lil E.T. was also out well. Conveyor is in between them. Lil E.T. has found himself on the early lead, but Conveyor will run with him toward the inside. Now he pokes ahead in front. Senor Tomas just off the lead on the outside, running third. Pistols and Roses is up close. Sand Lizard is there toward the inside. And farther back is American Chance, who's now running 6th toward the inside. And Best Pal is now 7th. He's running off the rail about 9 lengths from the early lead. And then it's Z-Roller near the back of the pack, along with Fame Devil toward the inside. Jovial is the early trailer. 23-1 for the opening quarter, and the field makes their way on the backstretch, and Conveyor is indeed loose on the lead by a length and a half. And Pat Day has his Derby winner, Lil E.T., running along under a tight hold in 2nd position. On the inside, it's Sand Lizard racing 3rd. Pistols and Roses is now moving toward Lil E.T. on the outside. Then there's a gap of almost 5 lengths to Senor Tomas on the outside, and American Chance toward the rail. Then Fame Devil, and Best Pal is way out in the middle of the racetrack, and he's way behind, a huge margin to make up with less than a half mile to run. The half went at 46 4/5 seconds, and they're rounding the far turn. Conveyor off the rail, short lead. Lil E.T. a powerful presence now, and it is Lil E.T. with a short lead as they round the far turn. Conveyor is right there. Pistols and Roses is put to a pull-out drive on the outside, and then there's a break of 3 lengths to Sand Lizard, and he is toiling now. And then farther back, American Chance. Best Pal is well behind as they turn for home with Lil E.T. in front with 3/16 of a mile to run. Lil E.T. under a hand riding by Pat Day, leading by 3 as they come to mid-stretch. Pistols and Roses is there. Jovial is coming late on the extreme outside. The final furlong here. Lil E.T. in front. On the outside, here comes Californian Jovial, and he runs by, and he wins. Jovial from well out of it to defeat the Derby winner, Lil E.T. Best Pal ran extraordinarily well in the final quarter to get up to be 3rd. The final time, 1 minute 48 3/5 seconds.
The California shipper, and they weren't sure he was going to come to this race. Jovial, owned and trained by Bruce Jackson, also John Swift in the ownership, ridden brilliantly by Eddie De La Houssaye, who wins his 2nd Oaklawn Handicap. There is Bruce Jackson, his hair flying, the open collar, the blue shirt, and Bruce, well, you can pick him out because of the smile on his face there. What a great effort by this young trainer who cut his teeth in the quarter horse business. Winner of the San Pasqual. Now let's take a look as they turn for home in the Oaklawn Handicap, and it looked like Cal Partey's dream was going to come true. He's always wanted to win this Oaklawn Handicap. You can't even see Joe, but now there he is in the yellow cap and the green silks. The left-handed up with Eddie De La Houssaye. Now he goes to the hand ride and moves past the Kentucky Derby winner, and Jovial upsets the field and wins the Oaklawn Handicap under Eddie De La Houssaye. When we return, we'll have another look at this surprise in the Oaklawn Handicap. Jovial has won it as he hits the wire right in front of Lil E.T. Unofficial results of the Oaklawn Handicap. Jovial upsetting the field 148 3. Lil E.T. runs 2nd, and Best Pal 3rd. Tom Durkin's going to take a closer look at the race for us. Tom?
Well, you will see at the very back of your picture highlighted our Best Pal, and the final horse in your shot is the eventual winner, Jovial. Those two were at least a dozen lengths off the lead with a half mile to run. Turning for home, Lil E.T. on top, and way back there you will see Jovial. He's on the far outside, still about 10 lengths from the front with 3/16 to go. Don't fault Pat Day for a bad ride here. The half went in 46-4. That's not particularly quick today. Horses earlier on the card were running opening quarters in 21-1. Pat Day sensing that he's on a bit of a leg-weary horse here, getting into him, and Jovial coming from well off the pace, guided by Eddie De La Houssaye right down the center of the track, runs by. Don't forget there is a weight differential here. Lily T carried 123. Jovial carried 6 pounds less. The final margin was about 2 lengths. Chris?
Jovial in the winner's circle. Pat Day is with me, and a little before he'd like to be. And Pat, let's talk about Lil E.T. And you said it kind of flashed back to what I remember him and the Jim Beam when he had a lesson to learn before winning last year's Kentucky Derby.
Well, yeah, Chris, he went to the gate nice and kind and relaxed, and went into the race pretty kind. I tucked in behind the conveyor around the first turn. Now here we are coming to 3/8 pole. He just took me to him. You know, he took me the lead in hand, much like he did in the Razorback last week or 2 weeks ago. We crept into the 3/16 pole, and when I got my stick over my left hand and called on him, he just got to goofing. I mean, he got his head up, and very similar to what he done in the Jim Beam last year, but this horse went a little quicker than they did down there, and we wasn't able to hold him off. I felt like he had more if he'd just kept putting forth, but he kind of cheated on me maybe just a little bit the last part.
Some work still to do for Pat Day and Lynn Whiting, as Lil E.T. just beaten here today on his home track, losing the Oaklawn Handicap to Jovial. We'll be back with more of our coverage right after this.
It was official, and Jovial returned 980, 380, and 320 to show. Lil E.T. returning $3 and $2.60, and Best Pal was third, returning $3.60 to show. And the exacta here in Hot Springs 10-7 returned $25.80. Let's look at how the rest of them fared. Sand Lizard ran pretty well, actually, for as long a price as he was, finishing 4th. Pistols and Roses kind of weakened in the stretch. Z-Ruler closed, but only to be 6th. Then Conveyor, who was the early leader, and rounding out the field, famed Double American Chance and Senor Tomas. Smiling Faithful.
John, you've had a number of horses with Bruce. How'd you get him involved with Jovial as an owner, besides being the trainer?
Well, Bruce knows a good horse when he sees one, and he's always been thrilled about Jovial, as I was when I first saw him. So when he had the opportunity, he stepped in.
Well, you've stepped in now among the tops of the handicap ranks, and Bruce Jackson to you. This is the horse you almost gave up on at one point.
Oh, I gave up on him. I was trying to get rid of him, and I'm glad now that I've had the chance to prove that what I thought all along, that he was a very good horse.
Why would you give up on him? What was happening?
Just things weren't just going right, and all of a sudden he turned it around.
Have something to do with the trainer?
Blind luck, I think.
Well, let's take a look at not only as a trainer, but let's look at Bruce as a fan. We're going to take a look as Jovial comes up on the outside of Little E.T. John, your thoughts now as you saw him turning for home here?
Oh, I was a little nervous, but, you know, then he just started to kick, and I know he has a great finish, and it was just, you know, I could tell when he was halfway there that he was going strong, and, you know, I wasn't quite sure whether he would catch up with a Lily T, but it was exciting when he did.
Well, he's out of the picture until just right now. There you see the yellow cap, the green silks coming as he moves past Lil E.T. and Bruce Jackson. Not the trainer here. Bruce Jackson was the fan. And Bruce, we had you isolated as you stood at the steps here at Oaklawn, just near the finish line. And let's take a look at Bruce as watching. And here he's trying to get Jovial home. Come on, boy. Come on, Jovial. Did you think he was going to make it?
I didn't like where it was early, but Eddie's kind of good at making you get nervous in these kind of races.
And there's about as much emotion as you're going to get from this quiet former quarter horse trainer, Bruce Jackson. John Swift, Sonia, congratulations. Jovial wins the 1993 Oaklawn Handicap. We'll be right back.